Alright folks, this is my home tonight. I'm on a 2-day trip. Drove over here to the James River. This is actually the Chickahominy Riverfront Park. I'm gonna fish the Chickahominy today, which dumps into the James right here. There's a bridge to the other side of me. Late as I can, and then I'm gonna sleep here tonight. And then tomorrow I'm gonna get up as early as I can, and I'm gonna go a little further up the James River and fish up there. A lot of stuff to see here, and hopefully a lot of fish to catch, so we'll get out there. Alright folks, I'm in spot number 1, Chickahominy, pretty close to where it dumps into the James. I'm set up in front of this big bridge. I saw some marks, sort of a flat here. It's 16 feet of water. The water is up to just about 70 degrees, which is considerably higher than it was in Maryland 2 days ago. I've got a couple of pieces of white perch, a couple pieces of eel here. And this is my first spot I'm going to try. The tide we're just about at the end of low tide. It should start coming back in soon. So I'm going to throw these out. Hopefully the wind doesn't bother me too much. I might have to double anchor. But I'm going to get these out here and we're going to see what happens in this spot. Alright, so for the history piece of this one, there's a ton of history here, and there's too much for me to go through in one video. I mean, you got Williamsburg, Yorktown. This is basically the cradle of American civilization around here. But what I chose to talk about today is how the Chickahominy River had a play in a mistake in the Civil War, where the Civil War could have ended in 1862 if not for this mistake. There's a good bite. So General McClellan of the Union Army had a campaign in this area to try to take Richmond in 1862. The mistake he made was half his army, or all of his army, was on this side of the river, and there was a bridge upriver, and he decided that he was going to fortify both sides of the river. So he took half his army and crossed to that side of the river, left the other half of his army on this side of the river. Once they got all positioned and set up and fortified, it was spring and a whole lot of rain came, and it flooded the river. It flooded the bottoms, it flooded the bridge, and his army was split in two. The Confederacy took advantage of this and attacked part of his army on this side of the river. Did a lot of damage, but the Union troops actually fought him back until finally the water went down and he was able to get himself and all the rest of his army over to this side of the river on his way to Richmond. But from how the Confederates were able to get to him so quickly and fight with so much force and numbers, made him think that Richmond was too fortified for him to attack yet. So he decided to wait. That was another part of the mistake that he made, because while he waited, it gave General Lee, who had just taken command of Richmond, time to fortify Richmond and bring in reinforcements. If McClellan would have attacked when he thought he should have attacked at first, he probably would have taken Richmond, and the Civil War would have ended in 1862 instead of 1865, and saved thousands and thousands of lives. That is how this river had a play in a mistake that cost 3 years of Civil War. And that's your history piece. Okay, I do believe we've got our first fish on. I think the one that was messing with this eel for a while has finally got himself hooked. Something hit that black rod too. I hope it wasn't just this fish going through that line. This wind just pushed me all around. Okay. There he is. Not one of those James River monsters, but he'll be a good first fish of the day. Give me that eel back. There he is, first James River fish. Technically Chickahominy River, but it's all kind of part of the James. Get this one back. Alright, so as far as bait goes, I've just got 4 white perch, 5 smaller sized eels. I'd rather have the big, thick ones, but couldn't get any today on the way here. I've got 2 shad, and that's not going to be enough for 2 days, so I brought my gill net with me. Got it in this tub. I never ran it before. They're illegal in Maryland, but they are legal in Virginia. You can get a license to run a freshwater gill net, or, well, they call it a saltwater gill net, but you can run it all the way upriver. 100 feet is the limit up here past Hog Point on the James. So there's a bite on that one. Still wants it. Anyway, it's kind of tough from what I know to run a gill net by yourself, but I've got a 60-foot gill net, and at some point this evening I'm gonna go up to a creek mouth and I'm gonna throw out my gill net, soak it a few times, and see if I can get some more shad for tomorrow. I've got enough, I think, for today, but gonna need some more stuff for tomorrow because I'm gonna fish all this evening until dark, maybe after dark. I don't really have any lights, so I don't think I can really video after dark. But tomorrow I'm going to get up as early as I can. I'm going to go way farther upstream on the James, and I'm going to fish up there for about half the day till around noon, and then I'm going to drive on back home. This is close to a 3-hour drive for me to get here, so that's why I don't come here that often. But I've got high hopes for this trip. The James River is known for monster catfish. 100-pounders are caught here. I'd be damn lucky if I was one of the guys to get one on just one trip, but we're going to do our best. Something's after this eel here, but I've got small fish pecking all 4 of these rods. I don't pick them up unless they load up the rod. They can peck at that eel all day and it's not going to come off the hook. It's a good thing about eels. But let's keep fishing. Alright, we're hooked up again already. This feels like a better fish. Maybe, yeah. He pulled a little drag. He took it down slow. Hopefully I don't get him caught in that other line. Well, now he doesn't feel so big. Maybe he shrunk when he hooked. Get him up here and see what we got. This one came on a piece of white perch. He's still even on there? I think he's swimming toward me. Yeah, he's swimming under the boat. It's a better fish. Not much better. Big enough I need the net. Oh, missed him on that shot. There he is. Get his bird's nested my reel there. Hooked right in the corner of the mouth. Boy, let go of my thumb now. Boy, that fish is ornery. It's tangled up too. Alright. There he is. He's probably 13 pounds. Got a big old head. That's a male. He's got a lot of marks on him too. Fish number 2. Pretty quick. Alright, y'all. It's been really tough. Like I said, I never fished this river before, so I don't really know the river that well. I got those 2 fish on the first spot. I've tried 3 other spots since then. I've dropped my gill net, just got 1 shad and a gar. So, might try to drop the gill net again here before it gets dark, but I'm going to give this spot a try. Haven't got a bite yet. I've set up here, but yeah, it's been tough. Don't know if I can get anything going today, but I'm definitely going to try again tomorrow upriver on the James. So I'll do my best, folks. Alright, so here we go. I'm soaking my gill net again. I put it in the water and then I turned the boat around and tied it off to the back, and I'm just going to let it sit here anchored. And I got some kind of row competition going around it right now, so hopefully they can scare some shad into the net. Alright, finally hooked up for the second day. It feels like another small one. Tell you folks, people like to make it sound like you can just pull monsters out of this river left and right, but you know, those are the people that have been fishing it for 20 years. I've been fishing it for 2 days. I can tell you it's tough. This is another small fish on the eel, but the way I see it, if I can come to a river like this that I have never fished before and just not get skunked, then I've done well enough. It really takes time on the water to figure it out. To figure out a certain river, you know? I got my thumb. I mean, you gotta put in your time. This guy got me with his fin. Don't feel good. And I mean, I'll give this river some more time, and I've still got a few hours today to fish it. I think I'm gonna start heading back up. This big sweeping bend that I'm in, it has to have silted up over the years, because my Navionics chart, you know, will tell me I'm in 40 feet of water when I'm actually in 5 feet of water. So they base it off the last time a place was surveyed, and I'm guessing the last time this place was surveyed was probably a freaking 100 years ago. So there's another fish at least. This is actually my 3rd spot. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna head back up toward the boat ramp and try like around a creek mouth, some of those areas, because I'm kind of leery to try to get all the way down to the main channel off of this big bend. It's because of the fact that the way my chart's not really reading right. I don't want to run up and get stuck on a mud flat until I actually know this area. I've been going as slow as I can, and it's taken a long time to get up and down this section because of that. You know, I'm only going 7 or 8 miles an hour just because I'm afraid I'm going to run up on a mud flat and get stuck, and it's no fun. I've done it before. So I'm just going to keep working along. up and down this bend on the outside, because this side over here, I tried to get it to one of these shallow cuts because, you know, it's springtime and I figure fish should be shallow right now. But I just can't get up to them. I mean, you're still 100 yards away from it and all of a sudden you're in 2 feet of water. I just can't risk that to try to get to that cut. If I was in a kayak, I'd do it, but it's the way it goes. I really wanted to launch at Osborne Landing and fish upriver from there because I've been seeing reports of flatheads being caught up that way. But with the Bassmaster tournament, there's just no way that I can launch or find parking, and then I'd be fighting to get my boat back off the water around weigh-in time, and I'd really be in a mess then. There's another ramp around here called Dutch Gap that would get me in that same area, but I didn't want to do it because I keep reading about how they have a problem with buzzards eating all the rubber off your truck when you park there. I don't want to risk that, especially when I'm damn near 3 hours away from home. So I'm just going to have to tough this out, and if I don't catch a big one on this trip, then I just don't catch a big one. I'll still post a video anyway just to show that, you know, this is the way it really is when you're catfishing. You're not always going to catch these monsters. You get lucky sometimes, but if you don't work the water a long time to figure out how the fish react and how they work in each different river, then it's hard to figure out. So I'll keep coming back here, but it's a long way away, so it's few and far between that I get to come over here. But I'm going to get these back out here, and I'm going to just keep on pushing and keep on fishing. Well, here's another one. Another small one. That is 3 dinks, I think, today. This is a more shallow spot I was able to actually get into, but it's awfully windy. So I was about to move, and I'm still about to move. I'm going to go back up closer to the boat ramp and get out of this wind and just keep on hoping. I think I've got my piece of shad. It's an eater sized fish, but I would not recommend eating fish out of the James River. There's a lot of industrial pollution. They had a big keepone skill. Can't even say that. Keepone spill a while back. Oh, there's another one. Well, 2 for the price of 1 here, folks. I'm not exactly sure what keepone is, but I know it's not good for you. Alright, let's see what we got here. He's the biggest one so far, but he's still not a real big fish. Still small enough I could pull him in without the net. Calm down, calm down. We've at least improved a bit. I've actually got a fish I can hold by the mouth. Do believe I'm still going to move. Just because this wind is really pushing me all around, and it's in shallow water. You don't want that. You get pushed right up onto the mud flat, get stuck. Open your mouth now. There you go. Yeah, I dropped him. yourself hooked again. He did. He's still not a real big fish, but this is the first one I've seen in the last couple days that has this purple on him, that are this pre-spawn colors. He's also got some damage on his tail. But yeah, I'm going to still move. I'm going to get up closer to the boat ramp where the tree line blocks all this wind and see what I can do over there, because I'm just getting blown all around. Pretty sure my anchor's already pulled. Alright, I got out of the wind and I found what seems to be where there used to be some kind of a dock or a wharf. There's some pipes over here. I looked at it on side scan on the way through and I saw some big fish, so hopefully they're catfish. They might be gar. There's a lot of gar in this area, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to cast one straight over here, not very far at all, and then one back behind it, and a couple that way. Yep, something was swimming with that one. Brought it up to the boat. Do believe we got ourselves another dink here, folks. Oh yeah, it's Dink City today. At least we're catching numbers of dinks. But yeah, it's another 3 or 4 pounder. You know, when I was a kid, I would be tickled to death catching fish like this. I still like it. It's better than sitting here and catching nothing. Alright folks, that is all the time I've got today. I got to start driving home. So didn't get that monster I was after on this trip. Did catch a few fish, but nothing very big. Not a total waste of time, because you got to put your time on the river to learn the river. And you know, I put a lot of time on other rivers like the Patuxent and Rappahannock, and I know those rivers well, and I catch big fish there. But I'll come back again. I'll keep trying this river whenever I get the chance. Lessons learned yesterday on the Chickahominy. I probably should have gone way farther upriver than I was, to try to find some creeks and places that I could get in where fish could be shallow, because they should be shallow this time of year. And today, number one, I wouldn't have thought to call the marina and ask them if they're having the damn Bassmaster River qualifier today, but instead of deep bottom, it probably would have been a better idea to go all the way up to Richmond and launch there. So I probably won't be back this spring. I mean, I'll probably come back this summer. When I come back this summer, it's going to be a whole different ball game. So we'll see you next time.